anybody guess where we are headed today? If the theme song didn't give it away, then hopefully this sign coming up will. Welcome to Mt Airy. So, as most of you know, Mt Airy, as some of you may not know, Mt Airy is actually the real name of the town of Mayberry, North Carolina, where the Andy Griffith Show was filmed. So we're going to spend a day in Mayberry and see the sights. Alright, here at the Mayberry Motor Inn, we've got room 118, and walk in and it's just basically a simple basic room. Seems clean. Everything seems neat. Is this all the lights we can turn on? Yeah, let's try to get a little bit more light in here. Like I say, very basic, nothing fancy, but clean. This bed I'm not sure about. That's pretty, yeah, I don't know about that. But
it's going to be firm.
Yep. So here's the sink area. Just again clean and neat, but you know, kind of old looking. But it's the experience of getting to stay here. So like I say, I'm going to do some more video in the morning. I was going to record some in Aunt B's room. I was told I needed an appointment with the owner to be able to record in there, but it had a lot of Aunt B's personal belongings. Apparently the owner of this motel bought Aunt B's estate when she passed away. So had a lot of stuff in there that she owned, like outfits and things from the Andy Griffith Show, and even her, that was her contract, with Andy Griffith.
She got $2,500 a week, and she was advanced when she was hired for $2,500. So back in 63 or 68.
Yeah, it started in 60.
Was on the date it was either 63 or 68.
Yeah.
Was on there. That's good money.
Yeah, the Andy Griffith Show started in 1960, and as far as I'm concerned, to be honest with you, there's two Andy Griffith Show series. It's the black and white and the colored episodes. When Barney Fife was there from 1960 to 1965, the black and whites were just, those are the good ones in my opinion. There's a few good colored ones, but it was not the same when Barney left. That's my opinion. I think that's probably about the opinion of about 95% of Andy Griffith Show fans.
That's the real show.
Yeah. But looking forward to tomorrow. We're going to take a tour of Main Street. We're going to go by a lot of the things seen on the show. Wally's filling station. What else is there? The Darling's cabin.
Yeah, we're going to go by Opie's candy shop.
I'm going to try to go by the Andy Griffith Museum tomorrow. So we got a pretty full day tomorrow, so we're going to call it a night this evening. Or a night tonight, I guess. That didn't make any sense, but anyway. Alright. Okay, here it is Saturday morning. Just got up and about a little bit ago, and I wanted to walk around the grounds here and see it in the daylight. It was a little hard to see everything good last night, but we spent last night at the Mayberry Motor Inn here in Mt Airy, North Carolina, hometown of Andy Griffith. You can see the squad car up there. We'll walk up there in just a minute, but very nice place, very well kept. Beautiful grounds. Showed you a little bit of the inside of the room last night. Very simple but clean, which is the most important. And pan over here, way out there in the distance, just beyond that red roof, which is Aunt B's barbecue, you can see Pilot Mountain. That's where we're headed this morning. Then we're going to come back and do a day in Mayberry. But we're going to go up to Pilot Mountain today and see what the view looks like from up there. Alright, let's walk on over. Okay, here's something I didn't notice last night. We drove right in here. We have Thelma's walking trail. And a little birdhouse in the shape of a church, and apparently Thelma Lou didn't do a lot of walking because it's a very short trail. Now, one thing about Thelma Lou, I want to say, is that she actually still lives here in Mt Airy, and she was making public appearances, I think maybe every Tuesday. I don't know if she still is doing that with the virus now or not, probably not. But Thelma Lou is 94 years old, and the manager at the motel told us last night that she's still going strong, so it's good for her. She's one of the few remaining cast members still alive. There are a couple, but all of the main characters, well, I won't say all, but most of the main characters are gone now. I know Ellie Walker, I think she's still alive, but pretty much the majority of them are gone. Here's the swimming pool at the Mayberry Motor Inn. Of course, the pool rules. Again, very nice little place here. There's the gazebo and the little courtyard area. Okay, and here is a replica of the Mayberry squad car. Now over here next to the squad car is Emmett's Fix-It Shop truck. Now, Emmett Clark was a character on the colored episodes. He was never in the black and whites, but he was in some of the coloreds. Now, I didn't know this until last night. The lady in the office was telling us that character on the Andy Griffith Show was actually named after one of Andy's high school friends here in Mayberry named Emmett. I don't know if the same last name or not, but that this actually was his truck and he had a fix-it shop. So this apparently is not a replica. This is actually a truck that was owned by Andy's high school friend named Emmett, who was a character later on the colored episodes of the show. But nice looking old Ford truck here. Got about everything you need in there. Got a cassette player and a fly swat and purple seats. All right. Okay, and we got to spend last night on Barney 5th Street. And like I say, Mt Airy, North Carolina. Mt Airy is actually a lot bigger than the impression you would get of Mayberry on the show. In fact, on the show, they kind of talk about the town of Mount Pilot like it's the bigger town and Mayberry's a smaller town. It's actually just the opposite. Mayberry, or Mt Airy, is actually quite a bit bigger than Pilot Mountain. But we're going to go downtown Mt Airy later, and there are some of the businesses that were named on the Andy Griffith Show. The place we're going to have lunch today is called the Snappy Lunch, and Andy Griffith actually mentions the Snappy Lunch in, I believe it's Andy the Matchmaker episode. Don't quote me for sure on that, but he actually mentions it, and Andy Griffith did eat there as a youngster. He did go in there and eat hot dogs, and they're known now for a pork chop sandwich. I don't know that Andy ever ate that, but he did eat there, and so we're going to go there for lunch today. And Mt Airy or Mayberry just has a lot of neat shops, so it's one of my favorite downtown areas. So we're going to head over to Pilot Mountain and then come on back and do Mayberry today. Alright, here we are arriving at Pilot Mountain State Park. So we're going to try to go up to the top this morning. Alright, we are here at the parking area now at Pilot Mountain State Park. You got a really, really awesome view from up here. Way out there in the distance, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or not. You can see Grandfather Mountain, which is actually just above where we live. About an hour and a half away from here, maybe 2 hours. I don't know how good that's coming in, but You can see the summit of Grandfather Mountain out there in the distance, and then panning out towards Mount Mitchell, which is just barely visible in the haze. And I'm glad they got this little interpretive plaque here to tell us what we're looking at. You can see a lot of stuff from up here. Yadkin Valley. So somewhere down in there is where we ate supper last night. A lot of farmland down through there. Really, really nice view. Yeah, just looking down at some of the homes and the farms down there. There's a sign here that says drones prohibited. Man, I'll tell you, this would be a nice place to fly a drone, though. You could see a lot from up here, but and I can also see the skylines of Winston-Salem. I'll walk over here, and Greensboro. And I say skyline. Greensboro, for the city its size, has almost no skyline at all, but there are some buildings. But looking out here in the distance, I'm going to zoom up on Winston-Salem. And I trust you're able to see that. Not much to it, but... Alright, and over here is actually the knob through the woods. We're going to hike the trail and get as close to it as we can. Looking down at Highway 52, making our way up to the knob, or at least as far as we can get. You can't actually go to the top of it. Once again, Winston-Salem out there in the distance. Then way out there in the distance, probably not going to pick it up, you can see the three buildings that make up Greensboro skyline, 3 or 4. I think for a city Greensboro size, I think it's about over 200,000 people. Probably got the worst skyline of any city that size in the country. Alright, now we're getting on the little Pinnacle Overlook Trail. Looks like we're going to have some rock stairs coming up. Alright, let's walk up the trail here. Doesn't look too awfully bad. Yeah, not long at all. Okay, this is about as far as we can go. However, I'm winded. It looks like there is a trail with some more steps right there. That must be the one that goes around the bottom of it. We're looking down now what I believe is the town of Mount Pilot, or I'm sorry, Pilot Mountain. I watch a lot of Andy Griffith, so I'm used to calling it Mount Pilot. And back down at Highway 52, heading back up towards Mayberry. That's where we're going to be heading back to here in just a few minutes. We got Mr. Rovier. Rovier, say hello. And Mr. Renoir. Renoir, say hello. And Miss Shaughnessy, say hello.
Hi, hello.
1 out of 3 is not bad. About see forever from up here.
Yeah, you got a good view, definitely.
I believe I see a field of cattle down there. I see a lot of black dots. It's hard to make out if they're cattle. I'd say that's what they are, though. And just to give you an idea before we head back down of the drop-off right here, this is why you definitely want to stay in the fenced-in area, because right here just on the other side of the fence, that's a pretty steep drop-off and a lot of rocks. Could be a dangerous area, so obviously if you have children up here or pets, keep a very close eye on them. And make sure everybody stays behind the fenced area. You should be fine. But this was worth the drive out here this morning. You can see pretty much about all of central and western North Carolina. You can see from Greensboro all the way back up to Grandfather Mountain. That's quite a distance. And then looking down into what they call the sand hills of North Carolina, the Troy and Denton area, the Uhori Mountains, you can see those way out in the distance. You can see a good section of the state today, just from this one spot. Alright, we're descending the trail now. The one thing I will say is, as we were reading about this place before we came, they made it talk like the parking lot fills up by 9 o'clock, and then you have to take the shuttle, which of course is a $5 per person charge. So we got up early this morning just to get here because we wanted to get parking. We had the thing to ourselves this morning.
And the parking's free.
Yeah, the parking's free if you drive up, but they say after 9 a.m., I think the website said 10, but the lady on the phone said 9. After 9 a.m., they said it fills up, so then you have to take the shuttle. So that's why we got here so early. We didn't want to pay for the shuttle. And there was just a few cars in the parking lot, and I think we met 2 people coming down that had already been up this morning. And the entire time we were there by ourselves because we were wanting somebody to take a picture of us, and I had to find a place to prop the camera because nobody ever came. But it looks like people are starting to come now.
But this is also March, beginning of March, maybe in the
yeah.
summer.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure in the summer.
Yeah.
But like I say, we called this week, and the lady said, "Oh no, it's going to fill up by 9." And we had the area to ourselves this morning. It was nice. I like this. This is a very, very beautiful state park. And I guess, again, the part I like about it is you can see so much of North Carolina. You can see this here is called the Piedmont region. A lot flatter, a little bit of rolling hills. But then way out in the distance, I don't think you can see it from here, you could see the Sand Hills region. I guess, I'm assuming that's where the dirt starts turning from clay to more sandy texture. And then you can look back to the west and the north and see the Blue Ridge Mountains. You could probably see a third of the state of North Carolina just from up here. Obviously not down to the coast because that's still several hundred miles away. North Carolina is over 500 miles from east to west, so can't see that far, but you can see a good section of the state from here. Pilot Mountain has been designated a registered natural landmark. This site possesses exceptional value as an illustration of the nation's natural heritage and contributes to a better understanding of man's environment. 1975, that's 2 years before you was born.
Yep. Thanks for telling everyone how old I am.
Well, you don't look your age. I think everybody would agree with that. So, you're 44 years old. She just turned 44 in January, and she don't look a day over 43 in my opinion. No, you look still like you're in your 30s. You look good. So, me on the other hand, you'll notice I record her a lot more than I do myself. So, all right, change of plans. We have decided to try to take that little trail that goes around the base of the knob, and I think this is it. Now, I'm going to assume, and I may be butchering this, but I'm going to assume that's Jamokee. I believe that's going to be pronounced Jamokee Trail, 0.8 miles, moderate. So we're going to do it and walk around the base of the knob here. And again, just looking off down through the woods there. It's a very steep drop off pretty much on every side, and we're on the Jamokee Trail now. It's a little bit narrow, but you know, not too hard.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Just always want to be careful on a trail like this because it's very easy to fall on rocks. We were at, a little bit of ice right here. Be careful. This is what'll get you right here.
Yeah.
Little frozen spots where the sun doesn't hit. We were at Chimney Rock State Park in Lake Lure last February, and well, I fell and I did not get hurt, but I could have. It was rocks just like this, and there's a little stream crossing them, and it was icy, and I stepped on it, and I went flying. The camera went flying, and I don't know how I didn't get hurt because I fell on solid rock, but I'm just hard-headed.
Thankfully, you didn't hit your head.
I did. When I went back, it did kind of hit my head on the rock, but it just, I don't know, it didn't really hurt me. Probably hurt the rock more than it hurt my head. But I'm going to try to avoid that happening again today. It's not a bad trail, just again, you got to watch the wet and slick spots because it is cold up here this morning. And it looks like all the snow and ice has melted. We had a couple of days last week that were very warm. It took care of a lot of the snow except in the really high elevations. And we're not in a really high elevation. I think the altitude of Pilot Knob is just over 2,400 feet, so not bad where we are. Now here's a trail. We're not going to do it just because we don't have time, but an interesting sign. It says this trail feels like climbing a 10-story building 10 times. Visitors with health issues should not hike this trail. Well, we don't have any health issues, but I think we're going to take a pass on that one. Yeah, and the rock formations are pretty awesome. Entering National Natural Landmark area. So we're getting ready to go around the base of the knob. And Big Pinnacle closed to climbing. Well, we're not going to climb it, so that's okay with me. I'll let you see this. This is Little Pinnacle. This is where we were just standing earlier when we were doing the beginning of the video. You can see the fenced area up there. That's where we just were. So apparently that's Little Pinnacle, and the knob is Big Pinnacle. That's what I'm gathering. So let's continue on a little bit. Alright. Getting a little bit winded here. We're on the side of it now. That's a lot of rock right there. We're seeing a lot of hawks flying around. That makes me nervous with 2 Yorkies out here. They don't look like they're very big hawks, but still have to keep a close eye on them because Be some pretty good sized meals right there for a big bird. Ain't that right, Rovier? Big bird gets you.
No, nobody's gonna get me.
He'll carry you right off.
Ferocious.
He says, I'll take care of him if he comes. Yeah. Yeah, and here's actually some shelter if it was to ever come a rainstorm. I don't know if I'd want to be under here during lightning or not, but of course I'd rather be under here than out in it, I guess. But nice little overhang. What does this remind you of?
Allen Cave.
Allen Cave on Mount LeConte in the Smokies. Which Allen Cave's a lot bigger than this, but yeah, sand on the ground. It's exactly what it reminds you of. And my wife is giving out. She says she can't go another step.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Alright. Look how that rock's just sitting on the other one. And once again, we got some more of the trail going up underneath the rock overhang. It was really, really neat. I'll tell you, this was worth the trip out here this morning. If you're ever in the area of Pilot Mountain or Mt Airy, you definitely want to come see this place. It's a lot more to it than I was expecting. Got hawks flying around everywhere. I'm trying to get this one here. I'm really nervous about them things with the dog. And I know we're in their home, but I just as soon not feed them. And looking at all these layers of rock here. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I might take some heat, but it's our video. That's fine if we do. I can say what I want to and what I believe. They'll try to tell you that each one of these layers was deposited over millions and millions of years. And I'm not a bit ashamed to say that I believe the Bible's account that God created this world and that He judged the world with a worldwide flood, and a flood carved these features out and laid down these sediment layers. Much better explanation than believing that each layer is millions and millions of years old. If you can hear that hawk or not, he's making some noise. Again, looking back down towards Winston-Salem here. There, I think I picked it up. When you zoom, it's very hard to hold a camera still without a tripod, but that's downtown Winston-Salem. I got another hawk flying above. I don't know if you're seeing all this, but there's a ton of hawks right now. I don't know if word's gotten around that there's 2 dogs around here of small size or not, but man, we're seeing, goodness.
They're like coming from everywhere.
Yeah, I bet I'm seeing 15 hawks right now flying around. So I think we are going to pick the dogs up and carry them. I'm not saying that's what they're after, but man, they showed up out of nowhere all of a sudden. So, this one does not like to be picked up. He's not complaining, so we're going to keep him safe. Alright. Down there's the Pilot Mountain State Park Visitor Center parking lot. Seems like every time you round a corner here, there's a different vantage point or something neat to see. So, like that rock formation right there. Little small trees and bushes growing out of them. Looks like I'm standing right by, that's either a rhododendron or a mountain laurel. I believe that's a rhododendron. They're not easy to tell apart. But I think we've just about made our way back around. Alright, we just completed our hike around the base of the big Pinnacle of Pilot Mountain. We just now saw this. We didn't see it before we came. So just in case anybody wants the information that's on here, hiking information, it's a map of the trails. I'll go ahead and try to record that for you and maybe be a help. Huh?
Park hours.
And of course here it does show somebody rock climbing, but apparently they don't allow you to do that now. And then the park hours down here. Looks like May to September it stays open later. You could watch the sunset from up here. Right now it closes at 6:45. I don't know why it says 8 o'clock because the sign back there said 6:45.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know which is correct. So
look right here. So this is where we just walked around. But if you wanted a rock climb, you have to go back. It's way down over there somewhere.
oh, so you can't actually climb the knob
No.
itself then. Okay. 2,421 feet. Alright. Well, what'd you think of the area?
I liked it. I'm glad we came. It was
Yeah.
really pretty.
I wasn't expecting it to be as nice as it was. I just wanted to do it since we were so close. But honestly, we spent more time here than we thought we would today. But
I'm glad we did.
yeah, so we're going to get ready and head over to Mt Airy, or Mayberry.
Maybe.
Alright, coming into Mayberry now, and notice the water tower up there has Andy and Opie going fishing on it. Try to get a close-up of that. That's pretty neat. Walking down to the fishing hole. That's the name of the song you just heard, the fishing hole. Alright, here we are at the Andy Griffith Museum. I'm not sure if we're going to go through it yet. Not sure what the cost is, but a statue of Andy and Opie here going fishing. This is the scene that you see at the beginning of the show when it's coming on. A simpler time, a sweeter place, a lesson, a laugh, a father and a son. I tell you what, in my opinion, that's true. There's no better show that's ever been made as far as just a simpler time and a better way of life. A town where everybody knew everybody, and about the only crime you ever had was maybe somebody stealing a chicken or something. But I think that's why it's still so popular today. Almost, actually not almost, a little over 60 years after the first episode in 1960, people still love the show. The writers of that show were geniuses, weren't they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm such a fan of the show, and I have some friends that are as well. We still use lines off the Andy Griffith Show sometimes. Just things come up in everyday life where it'll remind you of something you saw on the show, and use those lines, and it's funny sometimes. But well, let's walk around to the museum and see. Here, I'm trying to get this from my angle because it's casting a shadow. Right here, it mentions, come here a minute. With much gratitude to the Rance Howard family. Now, Rance Howard is actually the real dad of Opie, Ron Howard, on the show. That's his real dad. Now, Opie's real dad, a little bit Andy Griffith Show trivia. We're going to test my wife right here off the cuff. She doesn't know what's coming. Yeah, go ahead and open those. Again, I dropped this in Gatlinburg, and it opens about half the time, and half the time it doesn't. A little bit of Andy Griffith Show trivia. Can you name at least 2 episodes where Opie's real dad appeared?
Well, I know he was the chauffeur for the governor.
All right, that's one. That's good. I didn't think you'd get either one, but that's good.
I remember that one.
There's one more that I can think of, and there might actually be others. I don't know about the colored. I'm talking about black and white episodes.
I'm not sure about. Give me a hint.
About a truck that came through town.
The gold truck?
The gold truck.
Was he a driver on that?
He was not a driver. He was one of the guys from the government that came to tell Andy and Barney that it was coming, to keep it a secret.
Oh, okay.
Shazam. Remember that?
Yeah. Shazam.
That was Gomer's expression, but so that was a little bit of Andy Griffith Show trivia, and honestly, leave it in the comments if anybody can think of another episode that he appeared in. I'd like to hear about it. I'm sure there are more. Those are the 2 that come to mind now, but I know I'm not the only Andy Griffith Show trivia buff out there, so if anybody can think of another one, I'd like to hear about it. Okay, we just came upon this, and I have to get this. This was off of one of the funniest episodes, Barney's Sidecar, where he bought that to go alongside of the motorcycle that he had bought at a police auction, and he brought that thing into town and basically terrorized the whole town with it. That's actually the episode we were talking about last night, where he was out there stopping all the speeders, and Andy told them they needed that extra 5 miles an hour to get over Turner's grade, and of course, you know, if you give them that, you know what'll happen. You give them 35, they'll take 40. You give them 40, they'll take 45, and so on. So it's honestly, what's your favorite episode of the Andy Griffith Show? Let's hear yours.
I always liked the spoiled kid. That one was always...
I can kind of believe that.
But there are a bunch of them, though. I like that one.
Here's some pictures of Andy Griffith. Older picture. This was him on the show. I don't know how good you can see that with the glare. And then this is the one that actually, I watched this episode the other night. That was his picture in his high school yearbook.
Yeah.
Episode class reunion. So they said that actually was his high school yearbook picture.
Oh.
So, of course, on the show they went to Mayberry Union High. Why don't you sing that for us now?
I don't know.
My wife's going to sing Mayberry
No,
Union High. All right. Well, I'll get the words of it and I'll let you sing it later. If anybody wants to hear her sing this, I'll make a separate video. Just if I can get 50 likes and a request for her to sing it, we'll have her to do
donations.
That for you. All right, we just finished our tour of the Andy Griffith Museum. I took a lot of pictures. They don't allow you to videotape in there. That's very unfortunate. I really wanted to record some of that, but they asked us not to. So out here outside the museum, this is, if you're really an Andy Griffith Show buff, you will remember Bobby Gribble Hates Emma Larch. That was Andy trying to get some information from Floyd important to a case, and all Floyd wanted to do was talk about how people scribbled in the sidewalk. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't those two grow up and get married actually? I think Floyd talks about how when he was little he scribbled Bobby Gribble Hates Emma Larch, and then they ended up getting married. But I remember Andy was trying to question Floyd about something else, and Floyd just couldn't keep his mind on that. He was, I don't remember which episode that's in. Again, if anybody knows which episode that is, you can leave a comment. I have all of the episodes at home on DVD, but I remember that scene. I just don't remember which episode it was. But
I'm staying right over here beside me.
all right, let me get these right here. James Best. Now that was Jim Lindsey, the guitar player. He actually retired and ended up passing away not 10 miles from where we live. I think he retired to Hickory, North Carolina. So we live not too far from there. Some of these you can hardly read who it is. Doug Dillard, he was a member of the Darlings, the bluegrass band that lived in the mountains. Well, they were the Mountain Family on the show, but they played bluegrass. George Lindsey, that was Goober. Don Knotts, everybody knows who Don Knotts was. Some of these I don't know who they were. Charlie Dowell, he was the owner of the Snappy Lunch, where we're going to be eating here a little bit. He passed away a few years back. Alright, we just finished our tour of the Andy Griffith Museum. I took a lot of pictures. They don't allow you to videotape in there. That's very unfortunate. I really wanted to record some of that, but they asked us not to. So out here outside the museum, this is, if you're really an Andy Griffith Show buff, you will remember Bobby Gribble Hates Emma Larch. That was Andy trying to get some information from Floyd important to a case, and all Floyd wanted to do was talk about how people scribbled in the sidewalk. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't those two grow up and get married actually? I think Floyd talks about how when he was little he scribbled Bobby Gribble Hates Emma Larch, and then they ended up getting married. But I remember Andy was trying to question Floyd about something else, and Floyd just couldn't keep his mind on that. He was, I don't remember which episode that's in. Again, if anybody knows which episode that is, you can leave a comment. I have all of the episodes at home on DVD, but I remember that scene. I just don't remember which episode it was. But
I'm staying right over here beside me.
alright, let me get these right here. James Best. Now that was Jim Lindsey, the guitar player. He actually retired and ended up passing away not 10 miles from where we live. I think he retired to Hickory, North Carolina. So we live not too far from there. Some of these you can hardly read who it is. Doug Dillard, he was a member of the Darlings, the bluegrass band that lived in the mountains. Well, they were the Mountain Family on the show, but they played bluegrass. George Lindsey, that was Goober. Don Knotts, everybody knows who Don Knotts was. Some of these I don't know who they were. Charlie Dowell, he was the owner of the Snappy Lunch, where we're going to be eating here a little bit. He passed away a few years back.
All right, here is the Andy Griffith actual home place.
Get the sign up. Well, you can stay there for lodging reservations. So you can actually stay there.
That's pretty neat.
That's where he grew up.
Yep.
Just about a couple of blocks from downtown. Alright, here we are coming into downtown Mayberry. And you can see all the shops that line the street there. Mayberry Trading Post. Yeah. Hey, you mind if I record your sign right quick? I'm going to put this on our vlog here. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. So that's the most important message of anything that we're going to do this morning. Appreciate y'all out here. That's the most important message of anything we're going to see today. And over here's some more. Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, and Jesus saves. Are you saved? Everybody that watches this, I want you to ask yourself that question. Are you ready to meet the Lord if you should leave this world today? That's more important than all the places that we go or do reviews on, is where you stand with the Lord. Alright, let's move on. Alright, we are standing right here in front of Floyd's Barber Shop. And getting ready to go into the Snappy Lunch to have lunch. And judging by the line, I don't believe it's going to be too snappy that we get in there. But, look at all the stuff on the wall. That's right, I've been in there before.
Can you go in there and record?
It says tourists welcome.
It says you're welcome to go in.
Go, I'll stand right here.
People have been going in getting pictures taken, you know, I'm sitting there.
Western, he was saying he had one of those stick-on mustaches.
Inside of Floyd's Barber Shop here.
He see where the thermostat is back there on the wall? Then there's a little space.
My goodness.
Go over. Oh, the very first picture, right beside of that, is the guy with the mustache.
Take a
That's
picture
John
of that.
Bass. And on the Andy Griffith Show, he seemed like he had a little bit of a little feminine side to him, you know. It's in there, you know, the kind of, so the kids, I'm tickled me to death that kids are aware of the show. They like it. They have their own favorite characters and all that stuff. It's hard to imagine somebody their favorite.
A lot of these are characters that appeared on the show, most of which I recognize.
Somebody like Ernest T. Bass. He was only on 5
Mayor Stoner.
Black and white, and 4 times as Ernest T. and 1 time as
Some of them I don't know who they are.
TV repair.
Barbara Eden, she played in one episode, The Manicurist. There's hundreds of pictures on this wall here.
Yeah, and it's verse.
Andy mentioned this place here on, I believe it was Andy the Matchmaker episode. He mentioned the Snappy Lunch, so we're going to go in and get one of those famous pork chop sandwiches. Let you see just a little bit of the town here. There's the Mayberry Trading Post across the street. Can't really see it good. The Tahoe's blocking it. Andy and Barney riding through town on patrol. Barney's probably looking for some jaywalker or somebody throwing trash on the street.
Uncle Ollie wasn't in there. The siren.
Well, yeah, if Uncle Ollie had been in there, the siren would have been going. That was his thing, was playing with the siren. Alright, we're still waiting to get inside the Snappy Lunch, but we are next in line. But let me show you their hours. That's an odd closing time. Monday through basically Saturday, or through Friday, they close at 1:45, and then they close at 1:15 on Saturday. And Sunday, they're closed. So be aware of that if you do want to make this a part of your visit. You basically have to come for breakfast or lunch. Okay, we are now inside the Snappy Lunch after quite a wait, to be honest with you. Not very big in here. But, of course, a lot of the Andy Griffith memorabilia on the wall. And Andy did used to eat here. It seemed like the line moved pretty quickly till we were the next ones. Then we stood there, I know, 15 minutes after that. I'm going to let you see the menu here. Now, these prices, I don't know about you, but these are like 1970s prices. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, they're good.
I'm not complaining a bit about that, but good to see the menu here. You sure can't complain that they're ripping you off. Yeah, there's a glare. I apologize for that. I don't quite know how to avoid that. And actually, the breakfast menu's on this. I may have to hold it up. That'll help. Yeah, I think that does help. Maybe I need to start doing that. It seems like there's a glare every time I try to do a menu. Alright, I'll show you the sandwich when it comes out. This is an interesting thing here. This is inside the Snappy Lunch. Let's look at the year, 1923. That was almost 100 years ago, folks. 98 years ago. It's really a neat little place here. I don't want to get too close to other people when they're eating. Don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable, but if you just look around the inside here, you can see this is a lot of the famous people who have been here to eat. And Mr. Otis Campbell over there was the owner, Charles Dowell. He knew Andy Griffith, and he passed away several years ago. I remember him being here on past visits. But again, if you're in this area, you wanna make this a part of your experience coming in here for lunch. Been here a long time. What do you think?
I'm hungry.
You're hungry.
Had a big meal last
Folks, you are
night.
seeing a rarity here. When she's hungry, she usually doesn't smile. In
I
fact,
know food's on the way.
alright. Yeah, you got a nice smile, so I'd like to see that once in a while.
Just in the wrong direction.
Okay, my wife's opening the food up. Here is the world famous pork chop sandwich. Looks like it has slaw and chili, and I got mine without onions, of course. There's the pork chop hanging out. These things are messy.
They are huge.
Yep. And I think that was what, $4.40, what was it? It was a little over $4 for that.
$4.45.
$4.45.
Then your cheeseburger.
And the cheeseburger was
$2.45.
$2.45. So, all right. Well, we're gonna get messy now and eat. Okay, now we're inside of Opie's candy store, and it looks like just about everything in here is $6.99 a pound, and you can mix and match it however you like. All kinds of different candies in here. A lot of the vintage decorations, metal signs. Figure out what I want. The various ones here: gummy chicken feet, gummy pink pigs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but some interesting stuff here. Gummy rainforest frogs. Of course, gummy worms. You can get those about anywhere. Pineapple gummy. Sour cherry bites. Watermelon wedges. Now, I'm just going to give my opinion on something here. From my childhood on up to now, there are two candies I think are the absolute worst candies ever made. Right there's one of them. That says orange circus peanuts, and the other one I don't see yet. And that's those sugar-coated orange slices. How those things have survived for this long, I don't know. I like candy, but those are probably the two worst candies on the planet, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. And speaking of the other one, there it is. Now they've got cherry slices. I've never tried the cherry ones. They can't be any worse than the orange ones. Root beer drops. Now I like those pretty good. You can still get those root beer candies. What's that brand? They got them in the white bags. Those Clay's candies are in the white bags in the grocery store. You can get like cherry, lemon, root beer. Those are really good.
I think these are that chocolate caramel things I was telling you about. Something with chocolate caramel.
You getting you some of them?
Yeah.
I better figure out what I'm gonna get. Dark chocolate peanuts. There's one of them right there. I like dark chocolate and I like peanuts. So
chocolate stars.
like I say, yeah, I got some of those before. You can mix and match anything you want. So. This is inside the Mayberry Antique Mall, and there's a lot of really neat stuff in here, a lot of old vintage stuff. So if you're in town and looking for some antiques, this is a place you might find it. My wife's paying for me. I'm getting a couple of old vintage state license plates. I just bought a storage building, so I want to decorate it up a little bit with some wall decorations, old metal signs and license tags. So trying to collect most of the states I've been to. So. There's Walker's Drug Store where Andy first met Ellie. Alright, we just came out of Mayberry on Main. And what was the other one that was really good? Mayberry Market Souvenirs, that's here. Those are really, really good stores for all things Mayberry. And we're getting ready to go in one or two more on this side as well that have a lot of good Mayberry souvenirs in them. So. Okay, apparently at some point after the show, Aunt B did learn how to make pickles. If you remember, nobody liked Aunt B's pickles. They tasted like kerosene cucumbers. So, but apparently she learned how to make them and a lot of other stuff too. Okay, now she's digging into that candy. How has your day in Mayberry been so far?
Very good.
Alright, well, we're done walking the streets, so now we're going to ride out to Wally's filling station and get a bottle of pop. I'm going to see if he's still got that Nectarine Crush.
It's good.
What kind you going to get?
I think I'll get that Nectarine Crush.
Alright, well, let's head to Wally's and see if they are still open. Alright, we should be coming up on Wally's. I believe I see it. I believe they are open, so maybe we're in luck on that Nectarine Crush. And we are in luck because Andy is here at Wally's service station, so we got to talk to him for a few minutes. Barney wasn't with him, but go down here and look at Wally's tow truck here. Wally's service, Goober says hey. How'd you like that nectarine crush?
Delicious.
Delicious.
It's good.
Alrighty. Alright, we sure got here at the right time today. Briscoe Darling and his family are in town also. And Andy just had to give him a ticket for filling his radiator up out of the water, out of the horse trough. It takes 11 hatfuls to fill that thing, but I don't know if he had to take him to jail or not. Over here is the jail, and there's Barney's cannon. So we're going to go in here to the Mayberry Courthouse. Opie, Floyd. Alright, Mayberry Courthouse.
Emmett's fix-it shop.
Sheriff and Justice of the Peace. Bill sales here. And this was Otis's cell. They got a picture of him up over here on the wall, and there's his little cot. And the only thing, I don't believe Otis had a TV when he was in here. Don't ever remember seeing a TV. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about, the Christmas episode. Old Ben was standing on a bench out back looking in.
Oh, really?
There's the key. Otis could let himself in and out. Here's the gas heater that Andy was fixing when, after he had saved Gomer's life, he pretended to be asphyxiated so Gomer would save his, and he ended up having to save Gomer twice. That was funny.
Why wouldn't they let you go on the fighting stuff?
Somebody's pretty comfortable here.
Yeah,
this would be a job right here. Arrest somebody, bring them in. Bring us around. I can decide their case after I arrest them.
Yep. You gonna call Juanita?
That was Barney.
I know. I'm just saying. There's the phone.
I think I'll pass on that. Oh, sorry. They even got the clock over the door like they had. There's a jar of Aunt Bee's. Let me see that. Aunt Bee's kerosene cucumbers right here.
This is what the Leonard blush on.
Yeah.
Looks like the Barber chair.
You know whose voice Leonard Blush was, don't you? Ernest T. Bass.
Oh yeah. See the rock in honor of Ernest T.
Oh yeah. That was the brick that he would throw through the window. I'm going to zoom up under this television because I just spotted something here. And I can't tell, but it looks like maybe it's a little dead garter snake or something. Not sure if that's what that is or not. But.
Grandpa, how do I push it? What are these sheets?
The main thing to remember if you were here at the Rock was 2 basic rules. You remember those rules? Rule number 1.
Rule number 1, obey all rules.
Obey all rules.
And rule number 2, do not write on the walls because it is very hard to remove.
Get writing off of walls.
Get writing.
Let's put that mic in here. Oh, ready?
Go, Grandpa.
Ain't that the truth?
Let's see, where'd everybody else go?
Briscoe Darling's truck. Briscoe, Charlene, and the boys. So we can get a look inside of there. Of course, the boys always rode on the back and playing their banjos and instruments as they come into town. Wally's Towing. Oh, show him my little tow truck. I bought me a little Wally's tow truck for my little storage building. It's a little decor. I'm pretty proud of it. Well, if she wrapped it up, don't worry about it.
Well, oh, here it is.
Yeah, there's my little tow truck. It's about the same color as this one.
Goober says hey.
Goober says hey. Mayberry Union High, that's kind of a small high school. And Mr. Darling's cabin, and somehow I think his cabin was a lot further out of town and up in the mountains.
I don't think they're high. I hear red more.
Yeah, I do too. He'll be alright for a minute. You can't open that, I don't guess, can you? Yeah. I don't hear them all in there snoring, so they're probably not here. Alright, well, I guess this concludes our day in Mayberry. So, what do you think of Mayberry?
I like it. It's my hometown.
Your hometown. Awesome. I'm gonna get your shirt here. We both have matching sweatshirts. So I want to tell y'all just a little bit about our traveling buddy, Pierre. This is Pierre, and of course I've got one too. We lost Pierre back in 2019. He was a rescue that came to us in 2013. We had him for 6 years and 4 months, and my dad found him, and we tried to find the owners. We advertised him, and just nobody ever claimed him. Come to find out, we did find out where he came from, and it was from a dog breeder, and we think he had been used as a breed dog, and his little front paws was crooked. And he was able to walk for most of his life, but he just couldn't run or jump like other dogs could. And he did a lot of traveling with us, so anytime we go anywhere, it's kind of hard because we've been here with him before, and he was my best friend. I mean, he loved both of us, but you could ask her. You ask her if I came into the room, if she could hold him for 2 hours. But if I came into the room, he wanted on my lap. And I actually have a tribute video to him right after that I made in 2019 after we lost him. The doctors estimated him to be 15 years old when he passed away. We had just gotten back from Florida, and 2 weeks later, we did not know he was that sick. But he was laying beside me on the couch one night, and I thought he was asleep, and I picked him up, and he was limp. And he had not passed yet. I actually brought him back by breathing into him. I brought him back, and we got him to the emergency vet, and they put him on oxygen. He recovered and came back home and lived, I think, 6 more days, and then passed away that following Friday night. And they said he was about 15 years old. And if you want to go on YouTube, I don't have his tribute video on our channel, on this channel yet. I may put it on there. But if you just go in under YouTube and search Yorkie Pierre Beloved Rescue, you'll see the tribute video that I made to him after he passed away. And you'll see some of the places he went with us. And it's kind of hard to talk about because, like I say, he was my best friend. He loved me more than any other dog has, and I was closer to him than any other dog. This one here looking out the window, well, he was just looking out the window. This was Renoir. We got him 3 months after Pierre passed.
He's a little excited.
Yeah, he's a good-natured dog, but you know, he's very different than Pierre. And over here's Rovier in the other seat, and we've had him since he was a puppy, 11 years. He's the one with a bad attitude. He growls at us sometimes. But right after we lost Pierre, somebody asked me, they said, are you going to get another dog to replace him? And we did get another dog, but there was no replacement for Pierre. Pierre could not be replaced. So anyway, you started to say something.
I was just saying about Pierre. It's like he would bark, and he had like the different kind of bark complaining, you know, but it's like as soon as he was in your arms,
yeah,
he'd lick in the ear, and then he'd look at me like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah, he would always, every time I would pick him up, he would lick me in my left ear. That was his way of kissing me. But he was one, he didn't like to just ride unless he was being held. You could make him a bed, the most comfortable place, he'd rather be held, and he would
didn't want him to sit on
complain.
your lap.
He would make little grunting noises to complain like he was just in misery. Then when I picked him up, he'd start licking me.
Yeah.
So just wanted to mention while we have these shirts on, really wanted to commemorate him because he was honestly the best natured dog we've ever had.
He was.
And anyway, well, this concludes our day in Mayberry, so I hope y'all have enjoyed this video. I can't think of one thing that's gone wrong today.
No,
Eric.
it's beautiful
Probably the worst thing
weather.
was how long we had to wait to get in the Snappy Lunch, but the weather's been nice. It's warmed up now, probably in the low 50s, mid 50s. Started off probably in the upper 20s or so.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Just panning.
Oh, okay.
No, weather's been perfect. Food was good today. Got a bag full of candy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, had a good meal last night. Had a good stay at the Mayberry Motor Inn.
Yes,
Pilot Mountain was beautiful.
it was.
And we have about an hour and 45-minute drive home, and I have to do Sunday school in the morning, so we're going to go ahead and get on the road and head back. But thank y'all for watching this video, and again, like it and subscribe to our channel. And we're just trying to build our channel. We just started this, and we just would like to have all the subscribers we can. If you enjoy our videos, then let us know that. If you don't, I've already had to delete one comment. Everybody's been nice. Let me just ask a favor. Please, no matter what you say on our video, please don't curse. That's not something we want. And, you know, a guy gets on there and uses a bad word, and I just had to delete the comment. Plus, he was kind of being a jerk anyway. But just, you know, whatever you have to say, if it's critical, please do it without cursing. We would appreciate that.
And suggestions.
Yeah,
Anybody-
suggestions, anything to make it better.
Places to go visit.
Places to go visit. We'd love to hear from you. So thanks for watching.